recently went to Florida here for a big dog thing, which I guess we can talk more about. But one of the things I got the opportunity to do while I was down there was I got to visit a rescue down in Florida. Is in, I believe it's in Palm Beach is where it was. And it's one of the largest rescues. I don't want to call it out or anything, but it's one of the largest rescues. I believe it is the largest rescue, no-kill rescue in the U.S., I believe.
Okay.
And it's down in Palm Beach, so you can kind of imagine the clientele and stuff that they're getting for these dogs down there. So I got the opportunity to visit there, and they took us on a big tour of this place, right? And you know, bless these people. They're trying to do good work, especially all the people that work there. But I can't help but when I went there, I couldn't help but just think it's just a big dog collection facility. That's all they're doing there, right?
For sure.
Dog collecting and selling, right? That's what they're doing. And we were there, and it's this massive facility, really well funded. People like Rachel Ray, the Trumps and stuff have all put money into this place.
Yeah.
And like we're walking through, and there's dogs like, you know, I don't want to say they're crammed into rooms or anything, but they're definitely like, you know, 4 dogs in tiny rooms kind of thing, right?
Sure.
They walk us through like these bunk houses, essentially what they are. It's like you're walking through bunk houses, barracks, and they've got like 4 dogs per little cubicle. And sure enough, like some of these dogs are getting into fights and stuff. They actually walked us, I don't know why they did this, but they walked us through their infirmary, like their veterinarian bunk. And you could see some of these dogs were getting into fights and stuff and pretty fucked up from each other, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, we're seeing that. And then we keep going through this facility, and I'm seeing dogs that are like, you know, it's in Florida, it's like 30 degrees out. And there's dogs out in exercise pens with no water out in the sun kind of thing, right? Yeah. Maybe they're not there long, but they're panting, they're hot. There's crates and stuff, wire crates outside, like they're over capacity. They have these massive bunkhouses filled with dogs. Yeah. And then they're still putting more dogs into places that there's like, I look into corners of like utility closets, and there's dog crates and with a dog in it or something. And then we're getting this tour of this facility, and this lady, we're walking around, and she says this jokingly. She says, we have about 100 dogs from a Chinese meat market, and we just have no idea where we're going to put them. And she's laughing about it. And I'm meanwhile, like, with her, I don't know where they're going to put them. But it's like they're just accumulating dogs, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're making good profit off of them too, making good money off of them as well.
Yeah.
You know, again, it was a nice play. It was a nice place, but I feel like it's one of those things where once you get into that rescue business, it seems like a lot of people go a little too far with it or get a little too carried away. You know, they go over capacity.
Yeah. I mean, it's so tough, right? Because it's like, damn, like overcapacity. You got a place like that where, like, yeah, a nice place. Like the dogs don't give a fuck that it's a nice place, because like, what does a nice place mean to the dog? Is that they could hold more dogs, right?
Yeah, like they probably got murals and paintings on all the walls.
It looks nice for the people that come in, right? I'm sure they have cozy little areas to go chill and like meet the dogs and stuff that you might want to adopt. But like in the end of the day, they're sitting in the same fucking kennel that any other rescue or shelter on the face of the planet has dogs sitting in also, right? Yeah. And it's so hard because like go ahead.
I was going to say, like, yeah, even their kennels are interesting because they were like, you know, just rooms with like glass windows.
Yeah.
They're not like cage wire kennels or anything for the most part until you get to those dogs that were over capacity. They also had, it was very cool there though. They had this large kind of open concept sanctuary. It's almost like if you've ever been to like the what's it called? The Animal Kingdom at Disney World or whatever, where you like look out over to the savannah kind of thing. Looks like that. And it's just their dog play yard, and they'll just let dogs run free out there. And it's really nice. That's really beautiful.
That is really
but again,
cool.
Then you go through the infirmary, you go through that vet room, and you see what that can kind of lead to with when you start, you know, cramming that many dogs when you don't know their temperaments and stuff in one place.
Yeah. This is such in internet, if you're listening to this, like, don't fucking shoot me in the face right now. But like, it would be so interesting to see in a hypothetical world if every rescue had their capacity, right, of X dogs, where that amount of dogs they truly could just properly care for, right? They could provide good enrichment, good stimulation, right? Medical needs, food needs, all that kind of stuff. Make sure that while they were in the shelter system, they weren't just cooped up and they were still living a good life in there, right? It would be interesting to see if every single one of these organizations had that number, right? And once they hit over that number, they had to look at all of the dogs that were in and say, which one of these is going to be the most difficult to adopt out? And they immediately put in place like a euthanasia policy for that, right? Which rescues do anyway. So this isn't so fucking crazy that I'm saying by any means. But if that really was the policy and that's how they handled it, I would be so interested over the course of a couple of years to see what kind of dogs were getting put out there. And in addition to that, the ones that were in the shelter system, we could still all confidently say they were living a good life, even if they lived out the next 3 years in that system, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. It's tough, right? But again, I think that's the thing is people aren't going to stop buying dogs. Just like, they're not going to stop getting dog training. People aren't going to stop buying dogs. So unfortunately, somebody has to fund that, whether it's the backyard breeders, the reputable breeders, which obviously can't keep up, or the rescues, which can bring in an unlimited capacity of dogs and just keep them coming, right?